Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, electors invited to scrutinize the preliminary voters list and help sanitize the final list. Hunting season resumes after a 2-year break, but not all wildlife is fair game. And significant turnout on the observance of National Tree Planting Day. The details coming up.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Dominicans turned out in their numbers on Thursday to join the national tree planting effort. Here is Andrea Louis with a report.
This was the aim of National Tree Planting Day, one of the events for the 2019 independence season. Channel 5 News visited sites along the West Coast where residents played their parts in helping to restore Dominica's natural beauty.
We are here presently at Port Michel as part of the National Tree Planting Program. So far, we have planted apricots, guava, turnips, soursop. As we go further up the village, we'll be planting forest species like mahogany.
We are beautifying the area with flowers, coconut tree, and some fruits. And you know, I would love to thank the government and also NEP, the supervisors, the timekeeper for that. It is a very dedicated thing and a beautiful thing. And I want to say to all Dominicans, if they can keep on doing this every time and stuff, you know, it will have Dominica bright and beautiful, also green.
We are planting some lovely trees, different type of trees. And then I like that. And I hope Dominicans try to help us and keep it clean. And when transport passing, they'll see it beautiful and organizing things. So you have to help us to keep it clean properly and don't try to destroy them. Okay. Leave it nicely, correct, and look about them.
Forestry officials are urging motorists to respect the newly planted trees.
Another thing we would not like, seeing that the area is clear, you have some of the motorists that will try to turn and damage the trees, and would ask the general public in particular to try to protect the trees that we're replacing. That's what we are asking from the motoring public. You see the trees on the side, don't disrespect them, try to help preserve them.
Field Officer for the National Employment Program, NEP, Lazar Charles, says the project along the Point Michel Highway is a collaboration between 2 NEP teams.
We have the Point Michel NEP team, we have the Soufriere Squad team. So it's a collaboration with those teams, and we also have solid waste. So today we are planting ornamentals, we are planting fruit trees as well. From here we continue towards Jungle Bay, and they have started from Jungle Bay going back to Soufriere. So it's a massive project. I don't think we can accomplish all that today, but it's an ongoing project.
Channel 5 News also visited the section of the Eo Libla Highway which runs along the community of Jimmet. This area was recently cleared of debris for the tree planting exercise. NEP supervisor for the Maho area, responsible for the Iolibla highway from Maho to Taru, is working in collaboration with NEP groups from Taru and Warner.
Well, the NEP and the Forestry Division, we're working together today, and we have approximately 30 interns under the NEP, and we are planting trees. We have approximately 200 plants. We start in the corner by where Petrocarb boat comes in, and we're heading towards Taru. So as far as the 200 plants will take us, that's where we're heading.
Forest officer with the Roseau Range says the aim is to create a green space for residents of Jimmet.
We use the tree species that you can already see. So we're planting today mango, almond, kenip, and mahogany. So we're going to use the newly planted trees to stabilize the freshly cleared areas and to almost provide a green space for the people in the area.
Dominique says another benefit of this exercise is to increase the number of selected fruit trees in the country.
Like we have soursop, we don't really get soursop as often as before. We're planting soursop, we're trying to get some mangosteen, we're reintroducing almond along the coast, and other species, gooseberries. We're trying to make these things more common. So instead of just waiting on season, then we'll have them almost year-round.
And after a 2-year hiatus, Dominicans are now allowed to hunt for wildlife. We go again to Andrea Louis for more.
The shortened 2019 hunting season was officially declared open on 16th October and runs until 30th November. The season had been closed in 2017 due to the passage of Hurricane Maria and remained closed in 2018 to allow the wildlife more time to recover. Assistant Forest Officer in the Environmental Education Unit of the Forestry Division, Norma Anthony, says the open season does not mean that all wildlife will be fair game.
During this period, licensed hunters may only hunt crabs, agouti, manikou, and rami. The public is therefore advised that with immediate effect, hunting licenses may be purchased at the Office of the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division on the Windsor Park Link Road, or the sub-treasuries in Marigot and Portsmouth. With that being said, we'd like to also state that the hunting licenses will only be issued for the hunting, no freshwater fishing. So that means that the hunting of all freshwater species such as crayfish, mullets, shrimps, and freshwater crabs are prohibited.
Anthony went on to explain the reason that no freshwater animals are on the list of wildlife approved for hunting.
The season is usually open from October 1st to December 31st. But we still have to remember that we are still recovering from Hurricane Maria and our biodiversity is still fragile and still recovering. Our rivers were severely impacted by the hurricane, and in light of this, we want to give our freshwater species population a chance to grow. So that's one of the reasons why we are not giving out the freshwater fishing licenses for this year.
Anthony explains the Forestry Division is concerned over the illegal hunting activity. However, forest officers do regular patrols to cut back on these incidents. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
Over 40 local producers will have their products exposed to a wider cross-section of the Dominican public on Friday. This as the National Development Foundation of Dominica, NDFD, hosts its 5th annual Creole in the Streets. Coordinator of the event, Juanita Casey, says Creole in the Streets has grown significantly over the years.
For the first 2 years, we tried to target about 50 clients. But then it has been growing. So we try to reduce our client because right now everybody wants a table for themselves. So we're trying to stick within the 40 to 50 category. So it has been so big that we have to reject clients this year. They look forward to it because it's an avenue for them to market their local products, to create a linkage between the diasporas and people out there in the international market. So they're very excited. We just encourage them to make sure they have all their business promotions, like their business cards, their labels and flyers, their banners, and to come ready to talk about their business, to sell it to the public.
The event will be held on Great Marlborough Street between Old Street and Great George Street and will see a variety of local small businesses display their items, which Casey says has been very beneficial over the years.
Every year we do analysis of the event, and about 95% say that their feedback was good. Even the public out there would come to us and ask us for numbers for people that participated to contact them based on whatever product they had to offer. We allow all the clients to come and register on their own. So even if you were there last year, that's your choice to be there this year. And we've had a lot of new clients this year for sure. And most of them, to be surprisingly, it's not our clients. So we have, I think, half and half clients and non-clients.
Creole in the Streets will run from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with an official opening ceremony at 9 in the morning. You are watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
When persons with TB sneeze or cough, healthy persons nearby breathe in the droplets and the bacteria can lodge in their lungs. People with weakened immune systems such as HIV/AIDS, alcohol and drug users, smokers, children, and the elderly are most susceptible. Persons with a cough should take precautions when in contact with persons in public places. Cover your mouth when sneezing and coughing. Visit your doctor or health center. You must complete your treatment. TB can be cured even with HIV. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB and HIV. Protect yourself and others.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. The Electoral Office has issued a call for registered electors to inspect the preliminary voters' lists published in each polling district. Physical copies of these voters' lists have been placed in over 100 polling districts across all 21 constituencies. Electors are being encouraged to examine the list and assist the Electoral Office in updating it before the November 1 deadline for accepting corrections and the November 19 deadline for accepting claims and objections before the publication of the final register of electors.
The Electoral Office informs the general public that the preliminary electors lists are now posted in all of the polling districts across Dominica. And this is the time where we ask persons to scrutinize those lists, make sure that all is correct, spelling of names, etc. And if they see any errors, any discrepancies, to bring it to our attention so that we can take the corrective action. And we are asking that this be done by the 1st of November 2019.
The deadline to submit claims and objections is Tuesday, 19 November 2019. The final publication of the final list of electors is due on November 30, 2019. The public is urged to review the list and submit documents where changes are needed, particularly relating to instances of electors who may have passed away overseas.
The preliminary list of electors are posted within conspicuous places in all of the polling districts. Again, we ask the public to look at them carefully. Those lists as well can be inspected at the homes of the assistant registering officers for the various polling districts. The registering officers will have a list for the entire constituency, and that can be inspected as well. We also take the opportunity to ask the public to assist us in updating information on persons who may have died overseas. And we ask them where they have that information, channel the documentation, like say a death certificate, through either the assistant registering officer for the polling district or the registering officer for the constituency. In turn, those documents will be forwarded to the Electoral Office, where we will make the necessary corrections.
The Chief Elections Officer calls for urgency among non-electors to ensure they are duly registered. In other news now, Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan has responded to statements made to Channel 5 News by the leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Kent Vital, with reference to Prime Minister Skerrit's announcement about elections in 100 days. Vital told Channel 5 News Tuesday it would be ill-advised for there to be elections in Dominica in the absence of electoral reform.
The people have said that there should be no elections without reforms, and in particular, they have been referring to the reform related to the cleansing of the voters list and the issuance of ID cards. These reforms are necessary on moral grounds, or even based on perception, because the right thing must be done. Elections must be seen, not just be seen to be fair, but must be perceived to be free and fair. And the people have called for those urgent reforms related to the cleansing of the list and the issue of ID cards. And he's testing whether or not the people will stand by the word. But I want to say to the Prime Minister, although he has the legal authority to call the elections, the moral obligation, the right thing, doing the right thing transcends your authority given by law. The people are your boss. The people have said that they want reforms. The people, the majority of the people have said so. And you should subject yourself to the wishes of the majority. It is only the right thing to do.
Vital also called for the implementation of recommendations made by the Joint CARICOM Commonwealth OAS Special Mission on Electoral Reform.
You yourself invited the OAS, a special mission from the OAS, from CARICOM and from the Commonwealth, to make recommendations on the way forward. They made the recommendations. They are not a political group. They made the recommendations, and they recommended that there be a voter verification exercise. They recommended that there be issuance of ID cards. They recommended that persons from overseas, or voters who are resident overseas, those who do not meet the criteria of being in Dominica for within the last 5 years, that they should be removed from the list. They made their recommendations clearly, and your government, the government, has rejected those recommendations. So the Prime Minister is really testing the resolve of the people.
Senior Counsel Anthony Astafan, meantime, says Vital and other opposition forces are misrepresenting the electoral reform issue.
The government has put in place the necessary allocation of funding pursuant to recommendations made by a Jamaican expert from the Commonwealth, who was the former General Counsel of the Electoral Office, to put in place in anticipation of the bills being passed, that have the bills that were revised to remove any reference of bribery and cheating. The bills makes provision for confirmation process both within and outside the jurisdiction, which will lead to the cleanest possible list that we can have. Because if you cannot be found, or if you do not apply to be confirmed, and you do not meet the qualifications for confirmation, you will be taken off the list.
Here is Mr. Astafan on the issue of recommendations by the Joint Special Mission on Electoral Reform.
The recommendations from the mission, in its own language, makes it clear that if there are disputes or people cannot be found, or you don't have enough evidence to remove somebody from the list, you cannot touch them. They must stay on the list. And Mr. Vital and Mr. Jura and Lennox Linton and others are advocating civil commotion and disobedience because they are not accepting that the process in place that were approved by the Jamaican experts sent here in 2017 to assist the Commission and the government approved the confirmation and ID process as consistent with recommendations made to cleanse the list and in accordance with international best practice. But because Dominicans don't have access to the information or don't have the technical skills to read it and appreciate it like I do and others do, Kent Vital, Lennox Linton, Loftus Jura and the others are misrepresenting what the true situation is. And that, as the Honorable Attorney General said, and as I say to you tonight, there is no other process available or option open in Dominica that can lead to the cleansing of the list other than the ones in the bills that Lennox Linton on the 31st of August 2018 said that he had agreed with. Now he has changed his mind.
Astafan believes the opposition and its allies must accept that they have played a role in obstructing government efforts to bring about electoral reform.
The opposition cannot threaten the government with violence and prevent legislation being passed, or institute legal proceedings in the court for determination before anything can be done, and then turn around and blame the government for not doing anything. This delay has been fully the fault of Lennox Linton, Ken Vitale, Loftus, Jura, and others that have used every strategy, including the $10 million man, Mr. LeBlanc, with his group of so-called experts in election law, have done everything conceivable to delay the implementation of the reforms already approved by the Commonwealth. And what is troubling to me is that the mission made recommendations without a singular reference to the bills that are to be presented to the Parliament and that which exists, and to the recommendations made by earlier experts. So why should a government agree to spend hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million, on new personnel, new equipment for a new process, if at the end of the day that will not lead to a cleansing of the list? I mean, it boggles the mind that so-called intelligent people are pushing an alternative factual situation.
And the Cable and Wireless Charitable Foundation has partnered with the National Emergency Management Agency and the Rotary Club as part of its continuing commitment to support the recovery and restoration efforts in the Bahamas. The foundation has donated $75,000 to the National Emergency Management Agency and $50,000 to the Rotary Club of Grand Bahama to support Grand Bahama and Abaco, two islands devastated by Hurricane Dorian. The funding will be used to bring relief to communities in the impacted islands. CEO of Cable and Wireless and chair of the Cable and Wireless Charitable Foundation, Inga Smith, says the foundation's aim is to make an immediate difference in the lives of those affected by disaster. She says the first concern is always people. Since the hurricane, Cable and Wireless Charitable Foundation has issued $500,000 in humanitarian aid. This includes 5,000 care packages comprising smartphones, prepaid SIM cards, and personal care items.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Electors invited to scrutinize the preliminary voters list and help sanitize the final list. Hunting season resumes after a 2-year break, but not all wildlife is fair game. and significant turnout for the observance of National Tree Planting Day. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.